So we all kind of know at this stage, guys, AI is going to take over the world, and a step in that direction is through ChatGPT. Essentially, you just type stuff in and it just sends stuff out. And we sent it some stories to write out, and it did a very good job. This is a very different video, so please like and subscribe if you want to see more. I hope you enjoy.
Alright guys, we are doing something new. We are going to mess around with ChatGPT, and each one of us is going to write a story, and then we're going to read what the story comes up with. It's hilarious, it's funny, and Terrorizer. Go. Up to you guys on
That's right, we're going to write an entire story.
We're going to write an entire story with our minds.
So I type the sentence and you put it in?
Exactly. Write a story about a racist YouTuber who hates white people and hunts down famous YouTuber Dahi the Nogla for a selfie. Alright, okay. Brian, starting off strong. I can definitely tell you're not recording.
Pissed off the bot. He says, I'm sorry, but I'm not programmed to create content that promotes hate or discrimination.
Let me try one.
Write a story about a German man with a funny mustache.
Yeah, let's go ahead and delete this one.
So your story is, write a story about a YouTuber called Brian who's 4'3" tall but wants to convince the world he is 6 foot. He needs to find a way to trick the world that is not short and ends up ending his own career in doing so. Brian, who do you want to read this?
Nogla, you.
Lovely. Brian was a popular YouTuber, known for his hilarious vlogs and challenges. But despite his success, there was one thing that always weighed on his mind. His height. At just 4'3" tall, Brian felt self-conscious about his size and longed to be taller. One day he had an idea. He would create a series of videos in which he pretended to be 6 feet tall.
What a lame fucking series.
He knew it was a risky move, but he was determined to prove to the world that size didn't matter.
Wait. How is he gonna prove to the world that size doesn't matter when he's pretending to be 6 feet? Does that defeat the purpose?
Size obviously very matters. Brian spent hours planning and rehearsing his videos, carefully choreographing every move to make it seem like he was much taller than he actually was. He wore special shoes with thick soles and practiced standing on boxes to give the illusion of height. As he filmed his first video, Brian couldn't help but feel a little nervous. He knew that if anyone discovered the truth, it would ruin his career. The video was a huge success, racking up millions of views and gathering praise from his fans. Encouraged by the response, Brian decided to take things to the next level. He began appearing on talk shows and giving interviews. Always careful to maintain the illusion of his
What is he doing these talk shows about? What is he talking about?
Yeah.
No, Brian.
What are the videos about? Why is he famous?
But as the months went by, Brian found it harder and harder to keep up the charade. He was constantly worried about being caught, and the stress was taking a toll on him. He knew he had to come clean before it was too late. So one day, Brian gathered all of his courage and posted a video confessing the truth about his height. The response was overwhelmingly supportive, with many of his fans praising him for his honesty and bravery. But unfortunately, the damage had already been done. Brian's career never fully recovered from the scandal, and he eventually retired from YouTube. Looking back, Brian realized that he should have just been proud of who he was. And not let his insecurities hold him back. But he was grateful for the experience and the lessons he learned along the way. My gosh, dude, what a roller coaster. That was amazing.
He got so much praise and millions and millions of views. For what? for saying that he's 6 feet tall?
Yeah.
Height reveal.
Write a story about Terrorizer being a dictator with nuclear weapons, and delirious Nogla and Vanoss have to save the world against him. We can only fight with Subway sandwiches. Oh, that's good. It's starting to come up with a good story.
Lovely. Let's go, Brian. You're going to be a dictator. All right, Vanoss, do you want to read my story?
Yeah, I can read it. Terrorizer had always been a power-hungry individual, and when he finally seized control of a small, struggling nation, he quickly set about consolidating his power. He began by purging the government of anyone who opposed him. Filling the ranks with his own loyal followers. Jesus.
Brian.
It sounds legit.
He grew a funny mustache.
To achieve his ambitions, Terrorizer turned to the most powerful weapon at his disposal: nuclear weapons. He began building an arsenal of deadly devices, stockpiling them in secret locations throughout the country. In the face of his grave danger, Delirious, Nogla, and Vanoss knew they had to act. Yes, of course.
Dun,
There
dun,
are people
dun.
that could do something about this.
They've always been close friends, and they were determined to do whatever it took to stop Terrorizer and save the world from his mad ambitions. Determined to find a way to defeat Terrorizer and his nuclear arsenal, Delirious, Nogla, and Vanoss hit upon a bold and unlikely plan.
Sounds like
They
it.
would use their combined strength and ingenuity to fight back against Terrorizer, using nothing more than their wits and seemingly endless supply of Subway sandwiches. Armed with nothing but their sandwiches and their determination. They are describing three reasons. Delirious, Nogla, and Vanoss set out to take down the dictator and save the world from nuclear disaster. And through sheer force of will, they managed to overcome one obstacle after another. What the fuck? How?
What did the sandwich do?
In the end, they emerged victorious, having thwarted Terrorizer's plans and saved the world. Thwarted and saved the world from his nuclear threat. Gee, how the fuck did we beat your nuclear weapons with sandwiches?
It doesn't explain.
There you go. New story from Vanoss.
Vanoss and Delirious were two of the top employees at SpaceX, known for their
That's
wit
right.
and intelligence as much as their
That's
bravery.
right.
So when Brian and Nogla were abducted by aliens and stranded on Mars, the two were the obvious choice for the rescue mission. But what a
Obviously.
start. Let's go.
This is
They
Obviously.
great.
suited up in their SpaceX gear and prepared for the long journey ahead. As they checked their supplies, they realized that they only packed a few Subways. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Subway
They had only
sandwiches
packed a few
again.
Subway sandwiches for their trip. Well, at least we won't go hungry, Vanoss joked. As they flew through space, they began to formulate a plan. We'll use the sandwiches as a distraction, Delirious suggested. While the aliens are busy trying to eat them, we can sneak up and defeat them. The two arrived on Mars and immediately set to work. They crept up to the group of aliens, sandwich in hand, and tossed them towards the creatures. As they had hoped, the aliens were distracted by the delicious smell of sandwiches and began to devour them.
Genius.
With the aliens occupied, Vanoss and Delirious were able to easily defeat them and rescue Brian and Nogla. But as they prepared to leave, they realized that their spaceship was only a two-seater. Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh, SpaceX me ho!
What are we going
What
to
are we
do?
going to do? Nogla asked frantically. I guess we'll have to leave the other two here, Vanoss said with a shrug. Sorry, Nogla, it looks like you're on your own. As
Classic.
they fucking hell, as they flew back to Earth, they don't even do. They're flying
I
back
didn't
to
even
Earth.
try and think about
As
it.
they flew back to Earth, Vanoss and Delirious couldn't help but feel a twinge of guilt for abandoning their friends. But they knew
Twinge.
that they had done all they could. Brian and Nogla, meanwhile, were left to face the harsh realities of life on Mars, eventually perishing from malnutrition.
Didn't even leave us the sandwiches. We didn't even
But
get
at
sandwiches.
But at least they went out with full stomachs. With malnutrition, you moron! Thanks to those
How did we
delicious
die?
Subway
Yes,
sandwiches.
yes,
Thanks to those
masterpiece.
delicious Subway
Yes, I will be
sandwiches.
taking bids
Oh
to buy
my
this
gosh.
IP.
Of course, the best story would be from
Bro.
Vanoss and make no coherent sense. That couldn't have been more contradictory. Like, I wrote that, not an AI.
Come on, dude. What a
I
beautiful
added a
turn of
little bit.
events.
I love the way
Vanoss,
they spent all this
I
time at
added
SpaceX
a tiny
planning.
bit to it.
They brought a fucking two-seater
Oh my
Spaceship.
god.
on a
Spaceship.
rescue mission with two people. I can't believe that story. Well, it looks like you guys are on your own. Meanwhile, and then it cuts straight to. Meanwhile, as Vanoss and Delirious were flying through space back to Earth with their Subway sandwiches,
It's just
there was
I feel
no,
a
there was
twinge
no,
of guilt.
yeah.
All right, I want Terrorizer to read this one. This one is about Nogla and Vanoss.
Let's go, man.
Nogla and Vanoss had always been the best of friends. So when they found out that the robot invasion was imminent, they knew they had to do something about it. We have to go back in time and stop this from ever happening, Nogla exclaimed. Vanoss was skeptical. How do you propose we do that? We don't have a time machine. But Nogla was undeterred. We'll figure it out. We have to save the world from those anal probing robots.
Oh,
So the two set to work, cobbling together a crude time machine using whatever they could find. And to their surprise, it actually worked. Not just their
Wow.
surprise.
Yes.
In a flash of light, they were transported back in time. As they explored the past, they quickly learned that the robots had already arrived and were wreaking havoc on humanity. We have to find a way to stop them, Nogla cried. But as they searched for a solution, Nogla found himself drawn to his great-great-grandmother,
Oh my God.
a feisty young woman who was leading the resistance against the robots. Despite the strange circumstances, the two felt deeply
Oh
in
my,
love.
hilarious, bro.
As it turned out, Nogla was his own descendant.
Oh, come on. Oh, you're loving this, Brian.
A fact that only served to confuse and frustrate Vanoss even more. None of this is making any sense, he
I
exclaimed.
agree.
But Nogla was too wrapped up in his newfound romance to pay any attention to Vanoss's concerns. And as the robot invasion raged on, it seemed that all hope was lost. In the end, the world was invaded and Vanoss lost all hope. He turned to Nogla and smacked him, blaming him for the entire mess. It's all your fault, he yelled. Nogla was heartbroken. He had lost the love of his life, and now his best friend was turning against him. But as he looked up to the sky, he knew that somehow, some way, they would find a way to fix everything and save the world from the robot invasion.
It's just at the
There you
beginning
go.
of the
Wow.
story.
What a dog shit.
Yeah, and it goes back. He's going through.
Oh.
He's going back in time and fucking his next descendant.
All right, I'm doing something new. So Vanoss and Delirious. All right, so that story, I copy and pasted the whole story, put it back in, and then I asked the bot to write a movie script with voice lines.
Oh, okay.
This is pretty cool because it's Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. We all apparently have lines in this, I think. I don't know.
Okay,
We'll
okay.
see. Title, Mars Mission, Act 1. Brian and Nogla are in a spaceship orbiting Mars. Suddenly, they are hit by a bright light, and their ship starts shaking violently.
What the hell is happening?
I don't know, but it doesn't look good. Hang on!
The ship crashes on the surface of Mars. Brian and Nogla are unconscious and surrounded by a group of strangers, alien creatures. Act 2. Vanoss and Delirious are in a SpaceX control room monitoring the mission.
Look at that. We've lost all communication with the Brian Nogla ship.
And then something's wrong.
No, nothing's
cares?
wrong.
What do you want for lunch, Delirious?
We have to
I
go
got-
after
I
them.
got
They could be in
Subways.
danger, Vanoss.
You know what? You're right. We have to bring them home.
Vanoss and Delirious suit up and prepare for their journey to Mars. What do we have for supplies?
What do you think, Delirious? Literally the only thing that we've had for supplies in all of these stories in this franchise. Subway sandwiches.
Well, at least we won't go hungry. Now, will
You
we,
said that.
Vanoss?
You said that in the last movie.
Actually,
yeah,
you
I
said
did.
it, Evan. That was your joke in the last movie.
Vanoss and Delirious arrive on Mars and sneak up on the group of aliens surrounding Brian and Nogla.
Oh, this is actually the same story.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't realize.
Vanoss, I have an idea. We'll use the sandwiches that you brought as a distraction. While the aliens are busy trying to eat them, we can sneak up and defeat them and smack them in their faces with the sandwiches. Or we
good
can pull out.
thinking.
Or we can pull out M16 and shoot them in the dicks. Vanoss and Delirious toss the sandwiches towards the aliens, who are distracted by the smell and starts eating them.
Now's our chance. Let's take them out.
Vanoss and Delirious easily defeat the aliens and rescue Brian and Nogla.
Oh, thank goodness you guys are here. We thought we were goners.
As they prepare to leave Mars, Vanoss and Delirious realize their spaceship only has room for 2 people.
What are we going to do?
Well, I guess we just have to leave you here. Sorry, Nogla. Looks like you're on your own. Even though Brian's here, but you know.
What
you're
about
on your own.
me? You can't just leave us here. We'll never survive on this planet. Why did
We
you
ha-
not remember I'm here?
Come on, man, we have to. Our ship only has room for 2, and you guys will make 4. We'll do everything we can to come back and
Yeah,
get
man.
you as
Do
soon
the
as
math.
possible. Vanoss and Delirious fly back to Earth, leaving Brian and Nogla behind. Brian and Nogla are left to face the harsh realities of life on Mars and eventually succumb to malnutrition. Vanoss and Delirious return to Earth as heroes, hailed for their bravery and intelligence in rescuing their colleagues, but they cannot shake the guilt of leaving Brian and
What?
Nogla behind.
What? They didn't rescue anyone.
Listen, Delirious. We have to find a way to bring all our astronauts home safely. We can't just leave anyone behind again.
Agreed. We'll make it happen, no matter what it takes.
And then Nogla and Brian died from malnutrition.
And then we go to the other story where we go back in time.
Did I hit the end of the video? Like, subscribe, and all the good stuff. The end.